tabletop role-playing news. We aim to amuse and we aim to enthuse. And Morrus is unofficial tabletop RPG doggy.
Hello. Hello. You're listening to Morris's Unofficial Tabletop RPG Talk. Our illustrious and amazing host, Morrus, cannot be with us today because he has got the lurg. That's the official term for it anyway. I am, as always, PJ Coffey from Homebrew and Hacking, TTRPG Design, and the Southampton Guild of Roleplayers, and I am delighted to be here. Joining me also to assist me in this perilous navigation of the podcast seas to climb the mountain possible of bringing you the freshest and best of this week's news. It's the truly amazing, the absolutely stellar, the one, the only.
It's me, Jessica from EN Publishing. Hello. Glad to be back. I was away last week. But sad that Ross is not here as he has the plague, like you say. But we are joined by lots of lovely people in the live stream. Hey, hi, hello. If you are listening to the podcast, know that you too can join us live because we live record every Friday at 2 p.m. British time, which is 9 a.m. Eastern time. And you can catch that on YouTube, Twitch, or the Book of Faces, depending on your preferences. But yes, so we are recording live today. So if you are watching live, put any comments, put any questions or comments in the comments, and you can join in and be our third co-host for the day to replace Russ. And you may even do a better job.
Damn.
We'll kick a man while he's down, shall we? While he's ill, why not?
I know, right? Goodness.
Anyway, no.
Yes.
But I was away, PJ, last week.
Yes.
And I understand you were talking a lot about you were remembering the realms, the forgotten ones.
The where now? No, but yes, you're quite correct. Adventures in Faerun and Heroes of Faerun. We're joined by the illustrious Mike Shea, aka Sly Flourish, aka the Lazy DM, in quite frankly a rather chummy and delightful podcast. Not to say that it's not fun when you're here, Jessica, but it's just like there's a certain vibe when you can just drill deep into the strata of absolutely massive D&D nerddom, which Mike does bring to the table, and which I love it. So yes, we did talk about these books, and they were very good. So I believe there may be an article somewhere.
Yes, I mean that's what I was just going to mention. So obviously we talked last week on the podcast. So if you wanted to listen to EM World Opinions about the books, if you check out the Morris's episode, which is number 371, that will have a bit more detail, and there's videos on YouTube as well. I wasn't going to do a deep dive today because you've already covered it, but Christian Hoffer, who does all our written articles on EM World, last week had done one on the player-facing options in the Heroes of Faerun, but this week he has one for Adventures in Faerun as well, which is the more like the GM book for it there. Yeah. The DM book, yes. But so if you prefer to read your content or you want to hear what Christian has to say, if you read that on EN World, the link is up there. And it's got some really nice pictures of the artwork as well. And I thought the artwork was quite nice, actually. I don't know if you folks mentioned that last week, but from what I've seen, looks good. It's pretty.
Yeah, we didn't properly dive into the various pictures and so forth, although it became apparent there must be something in those books because apparently it wasn't word count.
Really?
I quite like that little picture we've got of a orc sitting in a chair with a rather nice hat, drinking a glass of wine and poking some sort of playing pieces around a coffee table, perhaps.
I assumed it was a war map, so that was troops opposed to being a board game, but you could interpret it either way. It's how I like to spend a weekend as well, with a glass of wine and a board game. Sounds very good.
Although hopefully you don't use a dagger because that will just scratch your terrain.
Who says it's my terrain?
Touche.
Yes. All right. So that's about the Forgotten Realms. So if you want to read more about that, go to emworld.org. And if you want to listen to it, if you go to last week's episode 371, because they covered it far better than I would. So should we talk about something else?
Oh, yes, let's.
Okay. So the next thing I have to talk about is Starfinder crossover with Warframe. Are you familiar with Warframe?
I think this came up when it was first released. I have actually played it briefly.
Oh, really?
Not entirely to my taste.
Okay.
Not entirely to my taste. It's a first-person shooter, or is it third person? No, I think it's third person actually.
Mm-hmm.
No, I can't remember. That's the level of enjoyment I derived out of it. But I can see how you could really get into it because it's one of those massively multiplayer online role-playing games. I didn't find a lot of role-playing in it, but friends tell me it's quite a lot of fun, and you can pick up various bits and customize your warframe, and they call you something. It's all right. It's interesting to see Starfinder having a go at it because that's looks like an interesting crossover.
I mean, exactly. Like you said, it's not a game I've played because it is like an action shooter. It does look cool for an action shooter because there's like parkour elements and stuff, but action shooter's not really my genre, so I'm not familiar. But the news is that Warframe, so all the lore and the world, they are doing a crossover with Starfinder. So Starfinder is doing an adventure which is set in the Warframe kind of universe, so it's got all the characters and lore. So if you know Warframe, this might be something that interests you. It's called Operation Arias, and it uses the Starfinder system, obviously. give it away a little bit. So you can squad up against adversaries like Corpus and infested enemy factions, which I don't know what that means, but if you like Warframe, you probably do, and that sounds interesting to you. But yeah, so obviously you'll need Starfinder 2nd Edition player core to play this, as well as the adventure. So if you're new to Starfinder but no Warframe, you will need the core book to play this. But yeah, you can get that. And there's loads of goodies that go with it as well. So there's like 3D printed models, there's flip mats, there's dice. You can get it digitally or physically. I think the digital PDF for the adventure is like $9. You need it physical for $13. So the adventure's not, it's not massive, like in terms of a really big expensive investment. But I think if you're getting into Starfinder the first time, getting the core book and that might be a bit more of an investment. But yeah, I mean, all the art's done from Warframe. So if you like that world and art style, that's in the books. And that's the piece of news, really, which is interesting. I always like a good video game reference. So a good way to shoe in a Baldur's Gate 3 reference into the podcast.
And if you can, you will. In fact, some say you're legally obligated to do so. And whilst we're talking about Starfinder, some of you will recall that Starfinder Afterlight was busy funding. It has successfully funded, having made €794,333, with
a bit of money, isn't it?
Not quite 14,000 backers. So yeah, it is a bit of cash. But yeah, I did actually back this one, so I'm looking forward to, at some point in the next couple of years, get your chance to play it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with digital game development, it does take a while to make it because it's a lot of work. It's not a quick thing, but yeah, I'll probably take a look at that when it comes out as well. So maybe we can get Russ to play us, do another gaming live stream. Although we still need to do a Baldur's Gate 3 play. We were joking before the podcast that instead of doing the news, because Russ was away, like naughty children, instead of doing the news, we would just play Baldur's Gate 3 instead.
I said we could do the news and then play Baldur's Gate 3. It's just like it might be a compressed version of the podcast.
Yeah, we did talk about it, but sadly I didn't have enough notice to set up my streaming setup for the game. So maybe next time Russ is away, remind me and we'll definitely do that. Anyway.
Exciting.
Okay.
Yes.
More news. Daggerheart.
Oh, yes.
So Daggerheart is literally on my radar. It's on my table right here. I have the rule set. I've been reading through because I am intrigued. And so I want to play it myself because I've read a lot of things online. Obviously, we've got reviews on EM World, but I've not played it myself. So I'm very intrigued by it.
Yes.
Have you played it yet? Or
no, I've not. No. I've not even seen a game on offer. I think somebody was threatening to run it, but they didn't have the actual physical cards, so they didn't have to print them all off. Whilst they offered to help with the cost for this, it didn't come to anything, which is a bit sad. But there we go.
Oh, I have the cards, so if someone at the club wants to borrow them, just let me know and I'll lend them to you. That's fine, because I'm not running something right now. Yeah. Anyway. The reason I'm talking about Daggerheart on the news show is because we have news regarding Daggerheart. So as we know, Daggerheart, the book is out and they're currently playtesting new kind of character classes that you can play and different character options, and a new one dropped this week. It is the Bloodhunter. So the details of it are on the screen now, so you can check that out. Oh no, that's PJ. This is the character sheet.
Yes.
But yeah, so the details are on there. Interestingly, so if you know Daggerheart, most of the classes come with 2 subclass options, but this one comes with 3. So there's the Order of the Ghost Slayer. So that makes the player more powerful if they're closer to death. So the less kind of hit points or the more damage they have, the more powerful their abilities become. There's Order of the Mutant, where you consume different mutagens for different benefits, which doesn't sound very healthy and good for you, but there we go. And there's the Order of the Lycan, which who doesn't want to be a werewolf?
Oh, who indeed?
Indeed.
Yes,
So yeah,
this being the class that I think Matt Mercer created for one of his own games, brought into Critical Role, and has been incredibly popular ever since. So.
That's exactly right. So fans of Critical Role will know that the Bloodhunter was originally a custom class that Vin Diesel played. And that was back when Critical Role was with Geek and Sundry. So this is many moons ago. And Matt Mercer has built on it and improved it since then. So it's been changed. But yeah, so there is a 5e version of this class available on D&D Beyond if you play 5e, but this is the Daggerheart version as well. But yeah, so it's play testing right now. So you can go onto Daggerheart's website to download it and take a look if you play Daggerheart and try it out and give feedback. But yeah, so there's more stuff coming from Daggerheart. It's still being well supported, and I'm interested in giving it a play because I've seen lots of conversations on it online, and I want to be able to play it to give it a fair shake and a review to see what my thoughts are on it. So there we go.
That sounds fun.
It's the news on Daggerheart.
Yeah.
We're firing through the news. Oh, we have some news here, PJ, that you a little giveaway news about some terrain. So I'll hand over to you to talk about this.
Yeah, this isn't a massive thing because I believe the giveaway has finished. But a company called Terrain by Hand, who, as you might infer from the name, is someone that crafts terrain for board games and role-playing games. And basically, if you've got a game, then they will create terrain for it. They worked together with 2 other companies. One being, I think, a map maker, and the other being some RPG designers in order to more properly create a piece of terrain which had a map and an adventure associated with it. And the explicit aim of this, just in conversation with the chap doing it, was to help them expand, to mutually help them expand their audiences, because obviously Terrain by Hand people, some of them won't like RPGs, but some of them will.
Sure.
And many of the RPG people, some of them might like maps, and many of them might like terrain. And you see, it's it's just a way for people on the smaller end of things, because these are all small independent creators, to take advantage of some of that synergy which the $1 million Kickstarter club that we're talking about has achieved. It's something I've not managed to get off the ground myself due to life events and so forth, but it's good to see a natural experiment in action. So if you're an indie creator, consider working with other indie creators outside of your immediate design, and you two could increase your audience and mutually profit and bring and delight many customers, because who doesn't like more stuff?
Well, yeah, good point. And Terrain by Hand, like you say, they're always going to be a smaller, more indie side of things, because if you're making things by hand, there's a limit to how much you can make in a day. It's not like you're going to have a factory and mass produce things. So yeah, cool. Yeah, I really like that initiative as well. And like you say, perhaps some learnings that you can use from other things as well. Thanks for sharing.
Well, I do like to try and think of ways to help out the indie game design scene, because I don't know, got a laugh in it. No one else is.
It's funny.
This podcast is a big ally of indie game designers, I like to think.
I never talk about them. It's not for me. Anyway, that was sarcasm for people that aren't British. So next, so we talked about indie small creators doing cool things. I think the next thing I want to talk about is the opposite of that, which is large corporations doing things that aren't as cool. Shall we talk about Affinity and Canva? I mean, to give the background as to why we're talking about this, Affinity is a design tool, digital design tool,
Yes.
that a lot of layout artists use in the TTRPG space. And I think the big thing behind it is because it was it was a more affordable option than other things like Photoshop.
Well,
so there was a lot of smaller creators that were using it.
I can tell you. I can tell you why I personally use it, and why many people I know personally use it.
Yeah,
it's because with Affinity's version 1 and 2, you bought it as a one-time license, and then it was yours.
So it's really affordable and manageable.
Not a subscription. They did frequent sales. You got 3 programs. I've only really used one of them, but I ended up buying all 3 just because like the value was there.
Yeah.
And it's not Adobe.
Yeah.
And Adobe always works on a subscription model. And many people, it does an excellent job technically speaking, but many people are unhappy with the way the subscription model works because it's quite pricey, to put it mildly.
Yeah. I mean, yes. I mean, that was the big benefits. I mean, but you would think Affinity 3.0 is now available for free. So surely that's a good thing, PJ.
Well, I'll tell you, like Adobe gifted Affinity many of their customers because I think it's hard to understate how vexed creatives of all hues, but especially in the graphic design side of things, are about artificial intelligence. So when Adobe said we're just going to use your work without recourse or recompense to you in our artificial intelligence models, people were pretty vexed. And Affinity was right there and scooped for all their customers. So there was some considerable worry that after it was acquired by Canva, that they would switch to doing an artificial intelligence version. So what we have is what we might consider a mixed bag, Jessica, a mixed bag.
So to clarify, Canva purchased or acquired the rights for Affinity about a year ago, and now they've been integrating things. So now we're seeing 3.0, which is the outcomes and the policies and what that actually is going to look like. So that's what we're talking about now. So what are the concerns about the 3.0 that people are talking about?
Well, I mean, let's be fair. Looking at the 3.0, it is free. I believe I haven't used it myself because, as I say, I already have 2.0, and it's web-based. So that has some obvious advantages over Adobe, which is a lot of money. So, you know, and you have a lot of resources and assets available to you through Canva, I think. Bearing in mind that I do not claim to be a graphic designer because I'm very bad at drawing.
Sure. But like most indie TTRPG creators, you have to do a little bit of everything. So you have to learn a little bit about layout and graphic design to get your products made, you know.
Yeah. Mine usually large head supports many hats, so that's always handy, I find. Yeah. So they got that. However, because for this new license, they've changed the privacy policy. I've linked a Reddit thread, so I don't know if we've got that, where someone's gone through the privacy policy and pointed out the various pros and cons. In what will not be in any way a surprise to anyone who's been paying any attention to the TTRPG space and to graphics and to computer people doing stuff, there is a mention of AI. I don't think that it is compulsory to have your work used by Canva to feed their AI slot machines, but I don't know.
Look, I've had a read through that, and from what I see, I can't see that that's the case. Canva does have toggles where you can turn things off in your privacy settings to do things. And I believe that's the same having read through. I think the main thing that people are saying that I've read in this article and other places online is that Affinity 3.0 is free, which is going to be great for a lot of people. But when things are free, it means that it comes... You know, it's not really free.
You are the product.
You're the product in some way. Also, it's online, so you can't use it offline like you can with Affinity. And they also have access to information and what you use and stuff, like a lot of software does. And also,
it's a huge data gathering exercise.
Yeah, and you also need to make a Canva account because it's linked through Canva. And then so you also have to agree to whatever Canva's policies are in addition to using the Affinity software. So that's just something to be aware of if you want to use it. Obviously, if you already have Affinity 1.0, 2.0, you still have that, I guess. Yeah, nothing happens to that. So I guess, you don't have to use this if you don't want to, but just some considerations for people that are thinking of using it.
Yeah. I mean, as I say, if it didn't have this AI element involved, then this would be an absolute game changer. Because privacy data it is a problem, but on the other hand, if you're getting a couple of £100 worth of graphic software to use, then it's like a good deal almost, if that makes sense. But like having your work being used to train artificial intelligence is a big problem. And with the complete lack of understanding of consent that often accompanies these things, as in they assume consent, which is not what one does. They opt you in by default rather than having you opted out by default and allowing you or encouraging you to opt in. So, it's pros and cons.
I think people think about that, about data and privacy as well. And it's up to you to, as long as you know what's going on and you make an informed decision, then that's that, isn't it? Like most things in life. But there we go. But that is that piece of news, and there is a link in the comments or in the show notes of the podcast. So if you want to read through in detail about all the terms, there is an article that does that.
Yeah, I mean, in many ways, it's quite a big deal in the industry because Adobe has made a lot of people very unhappy. Like, if you read, as I do, when indie designers talk amongst themselves and the subject of Adobe comes up, there's often like graphics going around saying, here are some alternatives to Adobe that you can use whenever they've done the latest price hike and so forth. And Adobe's got to make money, sure, but they have to do it quite so aggressively to what is considered to be a captive audience, especially for freelancers who are often compelled to use Adobe because that's a specification of their employment that they have to. But obviously, no extra money is forthcoming to cover the costs of this subscription. So it is what it is. Yeah,
that makes sense. I mean, some people are unhappy with that. You know what? People also makes people unhappy.
Many things. What particular thing were you thinking of?
Big stompy kaiju monsters destroying their city.
I mean, sure. Like if it's your house that gets destroyed, you'll be sad.
Yeah.
But if it's in fiction, I'm like, this actually makes me quite cheerful.
Well, good news for you then, PJ, because I'm here to tell you about Godzilla, the role-playing game.
Excuse me, I am now legally required to do my Godzilla impression.
Please do. I feel your heart wasn't in that.
Because if I go full all out, then my mic stops working. I didn't get picked up.
All right, reasonable. I'll allow it. But I'll allow it and we'll move on. I mean, Godzilla, the role-playing game, it says on the tin what this is. And I know my first question. So this will be coming, there'll be previews coming at PAX Unplugged, so we'll get more information. They're planning on launching a Kickstarter next year in March of 2026. And fulfillment will follow the year later. So we're not going to actually see the full game in 2027. So it's in development. It's being published by IDW Games, which is, they have ties to the comic book publisher. But yeah, my first question when I saw this was, who are we playing this game? Are we playing big stompy monsters? Are we fighting big stompy monsters? And I cannot give you the answer to that question. It remains unclear. But we'll get more information at PAX Unplugged, so we'll find out then. But I'm hoping we can be the big stompy monsters.
Well, I mean, if that sort of thing floats your boat, then games such as Era Kaiju already exists, so you can hop on that.
I do already know of that game, yes, but that just seems. I mean, my personal preference. I would like to be a stompy. Yeah, I think that seems more fun because sometimes, especially when playing this sort of game, I don't know. Those are my thoughts, but it will be coming. It'll be coming next year, and I don't really have a lot more to say about it at the moment. Beyond that, so
I mean, there's lots of different ways this could be very interesting. I mean, it could be quite a light-hearted, fun game, leading into that full rubber-suited action of people doing professional wrestling whilst in full fancy dress amongst a cardboard city.
Wonderful.
I know, right? or it might be you are role-playing as whatever kaiju of the week is approaching, and you're trying to do some sort of disaster management style game, like, you know, exploring the emotional responses to having Godzilla come and wreck your shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that would be quite interesting. Yeah.
Indeed.
Or, yeah, I mean, there's a lot to go in on, because your original Godzilla is focused, like with most monster movies, it's focused on the environmental harm caused by radiation. So what would be a more up-to-date version? Like maybe it's like Godzilla leaves microplastics everywhere. I hope not. That would be kind of a bit rubbish. All our threats are rubbish. Like, you know, you could at least respect the atomic bomb because it was terrifying, and now we're just like going out with a whimper rather than a bang. But sorry, that's getting a bit political there. So
I did get very existential. In other words, I do have a little bit more about this game to tell you about the game system. So it's not using dice to determine checks. It's going to use a standard deck of cards. Nice. So it's using a card system, and you can use a standard deck of playing cards. So you don't need. I'm sure they will sell special Godzilla cards, but you don't have to buy. You can just have, you know, your deck of cards at home.
I mean, Jessica, let's be honest. Like, who amongst us will not be picking up a full deck of Godzilla themed playing cards, even if they have no intention of playing the game? I mean, come on.
Depends how well they're done, really. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, so that's what I do know, which I think is interesting because yeah, and I'm interested to see more about the game system.
Yes.
But yeah, the IDW Games will be producing that, and it's the first new game they've published in about 5 years. Interestingly.
Okay. Yeah, I think there could be quite a bit of mileage and sort of maybe like Everwhere, like a sort of a tarot style reading, and this is the and you use the deck to set up the situation as Godzilla approaches, and you try and respond to that. But that would indicate it's either like, or maybe it's like a top trump style. I don't know.
Neither do I.
We could do a sort of a blackjack, and you could do a lot of things with cards to cover the bases we've already talked about. So
yeah,
IDW, if you're listening, tell us more. We need to know.
Well, they will tell us more at PAX Unplugged. They've said so. That'll be later this month. So we will update you when we know more.
Oh, fantastic!
Indeed. I keep giving you awful things to talk about, PJ, but you keep finding awful things, so we'll talk about it. Should we talk about the Rockstar workers' unfair dismissal? And do you want to give context as to why this is relevant for us as a tabletop RPG talk news show?
Oh, absolutely. So there is a union. It's called the IWGB Game Workers Union. They're based in the UK, and they have about 2,000 members. This year, they opened up their membership to TTRPG professionals, and they have about 100 on the books. Although that figure was a couple of days ago, I rather suspect, given the what we're about to talk about, that number is climbing significantly.
And they're an employment union, is that right? So basically, if you're having...
they're not a union for a specific workplace. They're sort of a union for a profession. So the support they provide you is information about what's going on in your profession. And often it will be legal advice because they will have access to lawyers who are familiar with employment law and the ins and outs of the place you're in. So, yeah, like I say, it seems like a good deal if you're in the UK and a TTRPG professional, quite frankly.
Okay, so what is the deal? What's happening with Rockstar? So Rockstar Games, they're set up in Scotland, I believe. I think a lot of them. What's happened there?
Rockstar are like one of the success stories of the UK games industry because they develop things like Grand Theft Auto. It appears that they're on Grand Theft Auto 6 at the moment. And I don't want to say for certain because I don't know for certain, but the story that has come out, and perhaps Rockstar sees it differently, I don't know. The story has come out that there was an attempt to unionize, and then Rockstar fired en masse a bunch of workers for attempting to unionize, and that is like just not okay. I mean, as I say, I don't know. I certainly can't comment on legal proceedings.
Alleged.
But that is Well, yeah. It's alleged that they were fired for union activity. Certainly, it's a case of unfair dismissal. So yeah, it is quite a problem. So there we go. And the IWGB is stepping up to help out the game workers. So it's a matter in motion and has not yet achieved resolution.
Okay.
So we'll have to see. But yeah, I thought it was quite interesting. Again, it's just like a little bitty thing rather than anything that I can talk about in massive detail, because there's just not that much detail available to talk about.
Fair enough. Let's talk about a little something else then that is not people doing awful things.
Terrible things, yeah.
Yeah. Ghost in the Shell. Did you add this one on, or was this Russ?
I did add this one. I saw an ad. I saw an ad on Instagram,
and it worked.
I was like, "Hello." Yeah, basically, you have much of what I know in front of you, which is that there is a pre-launch notification going out with about 8,000 followers on Kickstarter for Ghost in the Shell Arise tabletop role-playing game. This one's being produced by Mana Project Studios, who've created 10 games before. They're based over in Paris. And yeah, it looks like they've got full rights to what's going on. Looking at what they've previously done, I don't think we have covered too much of their work before. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong bit. Oh, okay. So it says, so that's interesting. So Mana Project Studios, the Kickstarter page says it's based in Paris in France, but their actual personal page says they're based in Milan in Italy. So this is new. Yeah, so they've done stuff like they've done Run Raptor Run, which looks like some sort of board game involving velociraptors. Sorry, a Cthulhu-esque one, a 5e Norse Ragnarok one, a Cowboy Bebop role-playing game.
They did the Cowboy Bebop role-playing game. Got it. Okay.
Yes. Which that hit shy of €500,000 with about just under 5,000 backers. So yeah, respectable numbers they're doing. So and that also looks like it had access to the original artwork and so forth. So we can be pretty sure it's going to have some good artwork. They've got some experience.
Yeah.
But people are excited about Ghost in the Shell, last I checked. So now you can have a chance to have a crack at it.
Absolutely. I mean, there's over 8,000 people following it for when it launches. So I think this may be $1 million Kickstarter Club one coming up. You can download the Quick Start Guide now for free on DriveThruRPG, and there's a link on the Kickstarter page. So we'll put links in the show notes for that. But it's using the Forged in the Dark system, which is interesting,
nice.
Which I think would work quite well. And it's got links and information on there about the character sheet. The character sheet looks really interesting, actually. It's kind of got like part of a brain and a robotic brain and elements coming off it where stats and things go. But that's all in the Quick Start Guide. But yes, it looks really cool. I am very interested. There's been some reviews that people have put on DriveThruRPG saying what they thought of the Quick Start Guide, so you can have a look there. So there is a bit of information that you can have a look beforehand. But yeah, and like you say, it looks very beautiful, and it's in a range of languages. It is in English language, and French and Italian. So
yeah,
if
that would make sense.
Yeah. So yeah, that looked really interesting. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, I mean, if they do hit 1 million, then that will be very impressive. We don't know the details yet, but I can see they're offering a core book and an adventure book with the option of a deluxe core book. So it's got something going on for it. Like I say, I mean, I'm not like a massive fan of Ghost in the Shell. I don't like. I have read other fiction which I feel has done it better. Like, no offense, but as an anime, I appreciate it. It's like got a really good place within the genre. So yeah, no, fair play to him. It looks exciting. So hopefully some of our listeners will be excited as well. And if you're not excited, sorry about that.
Fair enough. And going from a game that is forged in the dark, we are now going to be running in the dark. So we have Run from the Dark, which is a Kickstarter, which is now currently live. So we're not waiting for this one. Ghost in the Shell is gonna was meant to go live last week, but they've delayed it a little bit for technical reasons. So it most likely will be going live soon. But Run from the Dark is a folk horror folk horror role-playing game, and I made a link with Halloween because of the time of year. But did you add this one on as well? Was that Russ?
This was me as well, because I was chatting to someone who's an indie game designer, and they said I'm doing a Kickstarter, and obviously my ears picked up at that point, because I'm always on the lookout to shout out indie games, and they told me they were doing Welsh folklore horror. At that point, it was like, I had to, Jessica, I had to.
Wonderful. I love Welsh folklore. It's so dark.
That was very much the impression I got. Like, lots of body horror, terrible things happening to people. If you like your folklore grim, then apparently this is the game for you.
Wales is dark and cold, and these are the horrors we must face. Yeah, tell us more.
Well, as I say, it's like it's a game in progress at the moment. It is currently, I believe it has funded. Let me just double check.
Oh yeah, it's funded. It's funded like 4 times over.
Oh yeah. Goal of £4,000, hitting nearly 17,000 with 318 backers. An excellent effort by Will R.D. You get like a core book. Oh, and I don't know if you saw like the little staglets.
Yes. What is that? Because you can get a little plush toy of this little staglet. It's very cute.
Yeah, for listeners at home, it's sort of like a Technicolor Furby, but
with horns.
Yeah, I mean, I find it slightly less disturbing than a Furby, but it does have flippers and horns, so your mileage may vary. It depends what you're happy of staring down at you from the from your shelves and so forth. Yeah, it's like a little minis game, and these staglets apparently they're there to help. They're from, again, it's like one of these collaborations, because Rach Makes is the creator that's been doing them, so they are Rach presumably is one that's making these like weird little guys that you can have to keep and cuddle, which you got to say, £250 gives you a custom-made staglet, the physical hard book of Run from the Dark, and the physical hardback for the Forbidden Psalm Run from the Dark supplement, and of course all digital and applicable for stretch goals, which compares to so it's like you're looking at probably about the thick end of £200 to get one of these custom made for you. So they are very cool, but also quite pricey.
Well, yeah, for a custom made thing like that, I'd expect. The game itself is not. So if you just wanted the game itself, you can get £15 for the digital. I think absolutely. It's like £30 for the hardcover. So the game itself, but yeah, it looks really interesting. Like you were saying, I like the fact it's its own custom system, because I do like an independent system. So that's available there. They said it's easy to reskin for a horror system that you like as well. And the vibes of it I do love running 10 candles, as you know. It's one of my games I have in my back pocket that I'm happy to run with 5 minutes notice.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And because in this game you are running from the dark. The world is full of dark, scary things that go bump in the night, and you are walkers going around with your light sources to try and stay safe from it. So it's a great thing, because I think in horror, using darkness and the fear of the unknown is such a great tool. So I think the setting makes sense. It's this custom system by an indie creator. It sounds like a win-win for me as well. Maybe something I'll be backing.
I mean, it's got solo play, co-op, and versus play modes, and says it's a 28mm miniatures agnostic game. I mean, honestly, it's like an extremely interesting project, and even if it isn't your sort of cup of tea, it probably is worth having a look just to see what you think, because, like I said, it's some absolutely fantastic artwork. I mean, like I have come to accept that I can't run horror. It's a sad inability of mine to get something done. But they've unlocked 1, 2, 3 stretch goals, including extra class. with 18 days to go, I would say they are pretty much guaranteed to hit £20,000. And the older Sunken Forest, how would you say it? Cantra Gwaelod or something like that? I don't know. It's it looks exciting, and yeah, they got some spaces to go, but yeah, like I say, I don't know what to tell you, Jessica, apart from it looks good.
It really is my cup of tea, PJ. You found something that's for me. Like, I've got an indie niche RPG horror for you, and it's Welsh. I'm like, well, I really don't know what more you can do to tempt me for a role-playing game, and it's a reasonable price as well. So I think I will be backing that one.
Are you backing it live on there?
I'm not, because I don't have my card with me. But I will later.
It will.
I think.
Well, okay, Will, you can buy me a pint in the pub later. It's all good.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Something a little bit less dark in the crowdfunder space, though, is Journeymon, Monster Trading Roleplay. Is this another one you brought to the table?
This is, in fact, another one that I bought. Yeah.
You're just bringing hit after hit this week, PJ. It's all stuff I like.
That's very kind of you to say, Jessica. Very kind of you to say. I mean, I just wander around the internet and occasionally say, "Oh, a shiny thing." So this project is also funded. It's 5,000 against the 2,500 goal with 161 backers and 20 days to go. So that is a pretty epic start. The name is Journeymon Monster Trainer Role Playing. So I gotta say, this is clearly legally distinct from Pokemon.
Yes.
Completely different, I assure you. But it's in motion. It's very exciting.
I mean, you've sold it really well, because my first thought when I saw this was there is that monster taming role-playing game which I've forgotten the name of, and I had them on Not D&D, and it's good, and you're journeying around like healing and helping beasts in the world, and I can't remember the name of it. Someone on the internet put it in the comments. They've been on Not D&D. They're lovely people. But it reminded me of that. But now I've looked into this, like you say, the Pokemon reference is probably more applicable in this, because the creatures that you find and discover are your companions and go around with you. They're not like wild untamable beasts like in this other game I'm thinking of. But it does look interesting because they focus on zero prep, which I love. I love having some zero prep games that I can just have in my pocket. But yeah, this looks cool as well.
Yeah, but it's got a quick start guide out. I haven't been able to go into it in a depth, but it looks like it's probably using powered by the Apocalypse style gaming, because it's got various like playbooks and classes: Ace, Rival, Researcher, Caretaker, 10 monster power, swing your battles to life, a sample adventure. So yeah, it's looking good. And thanks to followers during the pretty much campaign, they've also whacked in the youngster and the old timer. So there's all sorts, really. It looks like they've got eight potential classes to get off, and lots of different monsters with a sort of a extremely complicated rock, paper, scissors sort of vibe, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah. Well, like Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Not to bring up the other one, but yeah.
I mean, the thing is, right, I never actually played Pokemon because I'm slightly too old for it.
No, you're never too old for Pokemon.
I'd have to. I feel like I'd probably have to watch the cartoon show. Although, because I have been on the internet, I am aware of Team Rocket, for example. Yeah, so this is by a lady called Imogen Gingell, who is a UK-based space plasma physicist.
Of course.
As you are.
As you are.
Yeah. They've worked on the Cosmere RPG, the Brand Sanderson RPG, and they've got MCDM, Flea Mortals, and Draw Steel Heroes, as well as working on Frontiers of Eberron, Quickstone, and Chronicles of Eberron with Keith Baker.
Oh, there you
go. Yeah. They got an artist known for the Back for the Brink webcomic, Juno Crovar Curtin, who's also worked on Cryptid Creeks, Wildevere, and Anemon story. And the editor is an Emmy-nominated person, author, editor, layout designer, E.R.F. Jordan. So it seems like they've got a really first-class team. And yeah, I mean, it looks very good again. So I was like, oh, okay, that looks cool. I'll give that a shout out.
Cool.
It's just what I stumbled upon, Jessica, and this one looks good.
Yeah, no, I love it. Thanks for bringing it to my attention. Another thing that we've seen online is, tabletop RPG journalism is suffering a bit. We've talked a lot. There's a lot of sites and things that are closing down or not doing the news on it. But you found a really interesting TTRPG magazine that comes out, Never Mind the Dice, and issue 50.
Never mind the dice rolls.
Never Mind the Dice Rolls.
Yes.
Yes.
Which I believe would be a reference to Never Mind the Buzzcocks.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yes.
Is that was just a British thing? Because are people outside the UK going to know what Never Mind the Buzzcocks is? Or is that very British? Let's know in the comments.
I feel it's very British, so maybe if you're an Anglophile subscription. Yeah. Okay. I mean, how would I don't even know how to I know the reference, but I'm like, sorry, like it was like a music show or something that did lots of comedy as well.
Yeah, so, I had comedians on. But anyway, Never Mind the Dice Rolls. What's this about?
Yes. Oh, well, they are a TTRPG magazine, and they've hit issue 50. And I saw that, I was like, oh, they're a magazine, because that's the level of attention I sometimes bring to my day-to-day life. There's a lot going on, and I was like, oh, okay, this is really cool. So I thought I'd give them a shout out, because they would like to talk about, obviously, Lex Arcana, but they are, I'm going to say, available to grab from drivethrurpg.com. So, that's always handy, and it's the usual joys of being a magazine. It's a monthly magazine, so at issue 50, we know they've been going for over 4 years. Yeah. They've got some reviews, some articles, like Not Your Standard Party. The group should be a traveling circus over a standard adventuring party, which, is quite interesting. And like little inspiration things like Town of Secrets, Doctor Surgery, what lurks behind these doors. So, it's like $4, less than $4. So it's like a couple of quid for a PDF download. I mean, it's hard to see where you could go wrong, to be fair.
Yeah, sounds good. I mean, it's always nice. And this isn't they're not making RPG content, to be clear. They're talking about, talking about the industry with articles, news, reviews, and things like that, opposed to it's not like they're making adventures every month or things like that, just to clarify.
No, this isn't like it's got it's like if White Dwarf covered more than Games Workshop stuff, which was true at one point, I believe, many decades ago.
All right, there we go. Well, there we go. Well, talking about one TTRPG magazine, let's talk about another, because I'm excited about it. Because Alpha Star magazine is going on BackerKit next week, dear listener or / viewer. So I'm really excited about this. So we have been waiting for the Void Runners Codex fulfillment to be complete. All the Void Runner Codex stuff, which is takes your 5e and level up advanced 5th edition games to space. For those that don't know the context. And we wanted to keep supporting this line, and we're going to do that with a quarterly magazine. Now, we do have 2 other magazines. We do the Gate Pass Gazette and Insider magazine, inside of 5th edition, Gate Pass Gazette for level up advanced 5th edition, which are monthly. But with Alpha Star, we're starting this off quarterly to see how we go, see what you think, see what you want. And it's launching next week, and we're using BackerKit for this platform. So it'll be on BackerKit quarterly, is the plan going forward. The first issue's been made for a while, because we had a few delays with tariffs and things like that with Void Runners Codex. So this has been ready to go for quite a while. So it's really exciting to see it. We're able to share it with you now. So which means we'll be able to fill it really, really quickly. So the PDF version will be able to go out the day the BackerKit campaign ends, which is really nice. And we're going to really quickly get your address and send it out to you in January for the physical copy. So it's going to be a really quick, nice turnaround. And we've got loads of really cool stuff in there. So we've got new tech and items. Some are a bit shady and of ill repute. There's new cultures and new heritages in. If you're familiar with A5e, there's different archetypes. There's like, the bioengineer, so you've got different scientist archetypes that fit in the setting. We all love psionics because that's something cool and different for a sci-fi setting. So we've got expanded different paths and options for them, different archetypes. So yeah, I'm just really excited about it. So I wanted to give that a shout out. The link is in the show notes or up on the screen if you're interested in taking your sci-fi game to space. And if you missed the Void Runners Codex, it's going to be available as an add-on bundle within this, and that'll be the first time it's available.
Very nice.
outside of that at a discounted crowdfunding rate. And if you don't have the Void Runners Codex and you wanted to pick it up, when we finish fulfillment at the end of the month, you can potentially pre-order it and pick it up without any shipping from Dragon Meat at the end of the month. So we put it on our website, and if you're in the UK, there's a drop-down option to select, I'll pick it up from you at Dragon Meat, because they're really heavy. So shipping them is quite a bit. So if you want to pick it up for free and carry it home, you can do that at Dragon Meat. And they've left all the warehouses, so they're on their way to backers. If you don't have it yet, if you check the Kickstarter page for more details, but I'll talk about that more on there. But
I'm looking forward to getting my copy. I'm told it's left the warehouse, so it could be somewhere.
Yes. Some poor post person's trying to lug it around somewhere because it's so heavy.
I mean, there might be several copies that they're having to lug, poor so-and-so, yeah.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Well, there we go. I think that brings me to the end of the news this week, unless you had anything else to share, PJ, or anything else we wanted to talk about.
No, I've bought everything that I can think of to share and make known to you and so forth. So, yeah, it's all pretty good, really.
Wonderful. Okay, well, I think we should probably wrap it up there. Thank you to everyone who has watched and listened. We will be back next week, hopefully with a Russ. That is our hope and dream, that he will be well and returned to us. But if not,
if he doesn't, we'll just play Baldur's Gate as well.
And if not, we'll play Baldur's Gate. Okay, yes, okay, that sounds really good. So we'll do that. All right, so come join us next week on the live stream, 2 p.m. British time, 9 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, Twitch, or the other one, Facebook, or just listen wherever you're listening to this podcast, and maybe we'll be playing Baldur's Gate if Russ is still unwell. All right. Well, for now, I'll say goodbye and thank you very much. Bye-bye.
All the tabletop role-playing news, we aim to